The following preview has been rated good by the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast. Please check out the full episode when it comes out this Sunday. David Huxley was a professor with a promising career until Susan Vance, the epitome of a human wrecking ball, walked in on his life. Along with the baby leopard, or a leopard named Baby, the trio must travel to Connecticut to complete the quest of love and find friendship along the way. From the director of some of the greatest westerns, full of laughs for all ages, the good, the bad, and the weird reviews, Bringing Up Baby.
An accurate description.
Totally didn't write that at the last minute.
but it is accurate.
It is very accurate. But yes, we are doing Bringing Up Baby, one of the most classic comedies ever made.
It is so funny.
I absolutely am in love with this movie.
And I would argue that this is, while an oldie movie, and yes, it is in black and white, it doesn't watch like an old movie. Like, it's fast and witty, and it has its vaudeville-esque moments without being, like, overly slapsticky.
Yeah.
It's such a delight.
I can't praise this movie enough, honestly. I mean, and it's one of those movies where I'm so glad someone recommended it to me that...
Yes.
And also, it's one of those movies where it's like, you know, I trust your taste in movies a little bit more now because of it. And
it's also a really great, like, opening gateway movie for if, like, this is your first introduction to old movies. It's got Katharine Hepburn in it, which you can just go down a whole rabbit hole watching her stuff. Cary Grant's in it. Amazing acting skills.
Really the only two names you need, because...
Very true. But once you get started, you could also go down the rabbit hole from the director, too. His westerns are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I am going to go down a rabbit hole of his movies at some point once I finish that never-ending DVD backlog.
Just add it onto the end.
Oh, man, I added more onto it today.
Like laundry, it never truly ends.
Yes, never, ever. And I think that's one thing about this movie is I'm glad I've rewatched it multiple times because honestly, I didn't pick up on the dirty jokes.
Oh, it sneaks so much in for a movie from the 1930s.
Yeah.
Like, it gets away with an obscene amount of stuff.
Well, and on top of that, like, it's just... I think the reason it got away with it is because it was witty about it. It wasn't
It is not direct.
Yeah, it wasn't the very, what we would have by modern days comedy, let's fuck kind of thing. It's like...
Yeah, no, it's quick paced, which, like, helps you gloss past, like, wait, did they just really say that?
Yeah. And on top of that, from a technical standpoint, while some of the movie isn't 100% there, some of its age, there are some technical aspects of it that make it a little bit more of an impressive movie once you know what the technical aspects are.
Once you know where to find them.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I mean, in the main episode, everyone's going to hear me, I absolutely gush over the writing and the setup for this entire movie. Not a line is wasted.
No.
Everything is just so well set up that it plays off either later on in the movie or like right away kind of thing. Or like it sets it up for multiple instances of this, like the whole joke of I'll be there in a minute, Mr. Peabody.
I love poor Mr. Peabody.
Which is a weird thing because it is kind of funny because I didn't think of it in the main episode. The roles reverse, and Mr. Peabody is the one who has to come to him accidentally.
Yeah. Like, he never actually gets back around to Mr. Peabody.
No, he never does, and it's all because of Susan.
Everything is because of Susan.
Yeah, actually, yes. And, I don't know, it's just... This is one of those classic movies that is going to sit in my heart for a long time.
And I also think part of the reason why I love it so much, and one of the reasons why, for me, this sits well above most rom-coms, is that both characters are over the top. They're both caricatures in very different ways. He's the straight, stick-up-the-ass, like, sort of person, while she's off her rocker, but, like, she still works. They both are still very realistic.
Yes.
And they balance each other. Like, no one's, like, whimpering following along behind. Like, both of them are butting heads for the whole movie.
Yes. And, for the most part,
Yeah.
I mean, there are those couple moments at the end of there's 3 moments at the end of the movie where they finally start to see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so well done that it doesn't... It's broken up between them butting heads.
And instead of feeling like, oh, one of them's losing, it feels more like, oh, they're finally recognizing each other as like the proper love interests that they are. Yeah,
that's a good point, because we do bring up the little bits of how modern romantic comedies pale because they don't do certain things. And that's what's so great about this movie, is that it's not really a competition.
No.
It's a battle of the sexes in trying to recognize each other, like you said, rather than one's going to be dominant over the other. And
I think part of the reason it works is because they almost role reversaled who does what in this film without making it blaringly like, oh, we've done the old switcheroo.
Yeah, it's not one of those very, I guess, modern woke-ish movies where it's like, well,
she just happens to be a strong, independent, stupid head.
Yeah, no, she is one of the biggest dipshits.
But it all works out.
Yeah.
Like, she has rolled with the punches for so long that, like, she just ends up where she needs to be.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, honestly, with the limited cast of characters... Yes,
exactly.
Charlie. I think it's a great study in just classic writing, and just writing in general, in my opinion.
And I also like that, like, while we do have background characters, they're not needed to keep the wit or the funny going.
No.
They're just there to, like, facilitate the plot, really. Like, otherwise, like, you'd question why they're at a place where no one else is.
Yeah.
But this whole movie stands really perfectly on just 2 characters back and forth.
Exactly. So, and now we actually have thought of a way to conclude these previews.
Yes.
Sorry, actually, no, we haven't.
That
was for the micro view.
That's true.
I'm gonna save that for the micro view. I completely blanked on it.
Fair.
But yeah, so yeah, that's our initial thoughts on it. I mean, check us out on Sunday. We do a much deeper dive on these.
Yes.
So,
and this is one of the, like, best rom-coms that I've seen in a long time. We have a lot to talk about on it.
Yes. No, there's a lot, and we will explain why you should buy the Criteria on DVD for this as well.
Specifically that one.
Specifically, so. Anywho, this has been another botched ending to the Good, the Bad, and the Weird previews.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.